Let's dive right into the introduction to marketing. There is a lot of misconception around what marketing is and what it isn't. So let's all level set on exactly what marketing is. Let's dive right in. First of all, what is marketing? Is marketing advertising? No, it's not. While advertising is a part of marketing, it is actually only one piece. And in this lesson, what we're going to dive into is what actually is marketing. What is it to say that marketing is an actual part of a business and a business's function? How do we understand what the marketing concept is? What does that phrase even mean? And how does it relate to marketing management? And of course, we also need to talk about a very important concept called the marketing mix. Let's dive in. First of all, this idea of the marketing concept. So many years ago, marketing was it was sort of seen as the same thing as sales. It was like if you're selling something to somebody, then you are marketing the thing to somebody. And as a result, marketing has become conflated with the idea of pushing things on people who don't want them and really trying to psychologically make somebody buy something they never really wanted. And this concept of marketing is very wrong. This idea of marketing being a selling concept where the company says, I have something I want to sell, so I'm going to look at the things I have to sell and just really push that on people. That was the concept I said a long time ago, but actually not that long ago. As recently as the 1950s, that was how people still thought. That has shifted. In the 1950s, that started to shift. And marketing became more centered around the customer. And so this idea of really focusing on putting marketing at the beginning of the process, in other words, putting the customer at the beginning of the process, that is what the marketing concept is all about. It's about the idea of really taking the time to understand what the customer wants, what the marketplace wants, where there's a gap in the marketplace, and saying people need something that's not being offered. And we can make that thing, and we can fulfill that need as a result. So the marketing concept says, first, let's identify the customer. Let's really hone in on their need and speak to their need and help them know that we have a solution for that need so that we can create long-term profits through satisfying the customer. All right. So what is marketing really? It is not advertising. Like I said, advertising is one teeny tiny drop piece of marketing. I'm actually going to show you in a couple of slides what I mean by that. But let's just define marketing right now. Marketing is the activity, the set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. Marketing is not ads. And I know probably maybe you didn't think that, but it's very important to mention that because a lot of people certainly have that notion. And it's good for you to make sure you take this definition. Marketing is really a set of activities, institutions, and processes for doing a few things. One is creating an offering. Two is communicating that offering. Three is delivering that offering. And four is exchanging that offering for customers and clients and partners and society at large. That's what marketers exist for. So then what is marketing management? Marketing management is essentially the process of doing everything that I said before, but by first setting goals and then measuring those things that I said against those goals. So another way to say it is that marketing management is the process of setting marketing goals, the planning and execution of activities to meet those goals, and then measuring your process toward those goals' achievement. All right. So if you're a good marketer, you understand not just that marketing has to do this stuff, but you know how to set a goal and say, okay, well, for us to introduce a new product to the marketplace, we first need to identify that there's a problem that's not being met, that there's a customer segment that's out there that wants this problem solved, and that they're willing to pay a certain price, that they're willing to have a certain delivery method. They're willing to also have a certain process by which they engage with us in order to trust us, right? There's all of the stuff that you got to figure out. But most importantly, it's about, well, what does success look like? And saying, okay, success is when we can identify the customer and sell X number of components to that customer over X time period and receive X% in positive feedback from those engagements and those sales. And then continuously, as you're doing those activities, measuring against those goals, and then figuring out how to make better products, better pricing decisions. Essentially, listen, marketing is what keeps companies viable. I'll just say it. Without marketing, a company has a bunch of products, but doesn't know how to connect those products to people that are willing to pay for them. So without marketing, there's no viability. There's no business. There's nothing for the finance people to calculate. There's nothing for the accounting people to balance, right? There's nothing for management to manage, just maybe the making of products, but really, how do you know those products will sell? How do you make sure that products will actually be satisfactory to customers? Marketers hold the key. And if you're a bad marketer, then you don't hold the key and your company doesn't do as well as it could have. All right, let's jump in. We talked about the marketing concept, talked about marketing management. Let's get into the marketing mix. The marketing mix, now that is the building blocks that a marketer can adjust to affect the overall marketing strategy of a product. So marketers are involved in these building blocks. Marketers help to make decisions. Marketers help to define these elements, these building blocks that make up the marketing mix. What are these elements? What are these building blocks? So there are 7 of them, but they're introduced in your textbook by 4 at first, and then there's the other remaining 3. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the 4 P's of marketing. These, again, are the building blocks of the marketing mix, the things that marketers are part of the decisions of in order for marketing to be successful. So marketers help to define the product. What are we selling? If we're Doritos, are we going to sell Cool Ranch? Are we going to sell nacho Doritos? Are we going to sell white cheddar? I don't know. All the different kinds, the spicy ones or whatever. The actual product itself. Everything from a potato chip or a Dorito, like I just said, all the way to very complex things like airplanes and rocket ships and electric cars. Marketers help to define what the product actually needs to be. Is it okay to have a hybrid vehicle in the marketplace, or should we really be thinking about fully electric vehicles? Marketers will help you understand if the marketplace is ready for one or the other, if you happen to be the owner or work for a company that runs or manufactures vehicles, as an example, right? The actual product. Then the place is the physical place where the item is sold, where the good is exchanged, whether that is a physical store or a physical website or app or some other marketplace. Marketers help to define where the good or service is exchanged. That's the place, the second P. The price, how the product is priced or the service is priced, as well as promotion, which is how the actual messaging or communication of that good or service is communicated, is transferred to that target market. Speaking of target market, we'll get into it in the next section, but a target market is the subset of the general population that you as a marketer and as a business at large has decided is who you're going to be mostly targeting for your product. All right, so marketers say these are the 4 P's that we are responsible for. And in any business that is properly leveraging the marketing team, marketers are not just over here doing promotion. And you see advertising is one little bullet inside promotion. Do you see that? Okay. Advertising is just one type of way that marketers communicate to people about a good or service. And you see advertising is a part of promotion, and promotion is a part of a whole bunch of other things. So that's what I meant. Advertising is just one piece, because a company can do product price placement and decide not to use any advertising at all to get the message out. They might only do word of mouth. They might only do public relations. They might only do sponsorships. They might do nothing else related to advertising. So these 4 P's are also sometimes referred to as the 4 C's. Okay. You might come across in your career somebody saying, no, they're not called P's, they're called C's, where the C for P for product becomes customer. The place, where are you going to be selling this good or service, becomes convenience. The price becomes the cost. And then the promotion, how are you going to get the word out, becomes communication. So sometimes you see the 4 P's referred to as the 4 C's: customer, convenience, cost, and communication. All right. So those are the 4 P's that make up the marketing mix. And again, these are the building blocks that define the activities that marketers do. Marketers help to make these decisions, therefore defining how the company goes to market with a product or a service. Now, remember I told you there are actually 7 P's, but we always start with 4 because the 4 are sort of the foundation. But after that, there are 3 more. There's people, physical evidence, and process. All right, these are also aspects or building blocks, decisions that marketers help to make that make it more possible for somebody to engage with the product or service and see value in it in their lives. So let's touch on these really briefly. People, the people piece this is really the human actors who provide goods and services and ideas to the customer. These are the employees. These are the people in the parking lot that help you load your groceries when you go to the grocery store. These are the people that offload things off the trucks into the back warehouse so they can make it into the store. These are the people behind the scenes at an IT company or at an e-commerce business that are making sure that the website is live and active. The people that you chat with when you engage with a live chat agent on a website. So these are also aspects of the marketing mix because they help to create that value that make the person feel like, yes, I do want to engage with this company. Yes, they do solve my problem. Yes, they do meet my need. Physical evidence. So this is the tangible elements in the place that the good or service is sold. All right. So in an offline environment, like a real office space, you walk into your doctor's office, you walk into your children's classroom. What do you see? How does it make you feel? Do you feel like you're going to send your child to that school because you got good vibes? Or did you get negative vibes and maybe you're having second thoughts? Okay, the physical evidence that you see around you, the colors, the sounds, the pictures on the walls, the lack of pictures on the walls, the lack of colors. Sometimes you need the opposite to make sure that you feel really connected to that brand, depending on what they're selling. So marketers are involved in how should the place look and feel to people? How do we want people to feel when they walk in here? Marketers help with that. And then lastly, process, the 7th P, which is the flow of activities involved in providing goods and services and ideas to that customer. So here we're getting into things like how things are laid out in a store, even how things are laid out online. If you're an e-commerce type of environment or an online or virtual business, still equally important to make sure that people can easily find that add to cart button. People can easily see that once they add an item to the cart, what the next step is and how much they're going to be paying for shipping and, the process, the flow. If it's a physical place, it's when I enter, what do I see? Who greets me? Who doesn't greet me? Is it clear where the clearance rack is? Is it clear where the higher price items are? Do I walk into a grocery store and immediately see produce items? Or do I walk into a grocery store and immediately see, like unhealthy items? Depending on the type of store that you are and the types of customers you want to serve and the needs they have, you decide. But marketing is a part of that. Marketers help to make those decisions. Are you with me? Okay. So those are the 7 P's of marketing that you need to understand, that these are the building blocks that marketers are a part of the decisions of. No business can say, we're just going to charge $100 per unit for X without talking to marketing to say, is somebody ever going to pay for that? Okay, marketers have to be a part of that. So important for you to understand that. All that said, let's review. So first of all, marketing is not advertising. Marketing is not just selling people stuff. Marketing is the activity and the processes and the institutions necessary to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange offerings that offer value for customers, clients, partners, and the society at large. That's what marketers do. And secondly, that there are 7 P's of marketing. Those P's are product, price, promotion, place, people, physical evidence, and process. And lastly, I want you to know that this first chapter here that we've just talked about covers the concepts that you'll be seeing throughout this textbook. But each concept that's introduced here is explained more in detail. So we're going to get into it. Trust me. We're going to definitely learn about all of these teased out so that it's clearer and that you can actually take it from concept to application. I hope this all makes sense in terms of what marketing is and what marketers do.